Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, it's that time of year again. We're celebrating the holidays here at Dante's Den Foundation. Find out the latest happenings here at the Dens. Plus, we introduce you to some very special furry friends. And some do's and don'ts to help keep your pets safe during this hectic time of the year. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. The holidays are a time to reflect on the year and give thanks to everything and everyone in your life. A moment to appreciate the little things that really bring us joy. And for me, that's what it's all about here at Dante's Den. Since first opening our gates in 2015, we've been on the fast track to providing the services needed to offer happy and healthy lives to all of the animals that call Dante's home. 2022 has certainly been a busy year for all of us, Dante's Den included. Since the beginning of the year, we've opened up our Dogevity Wellness Clinic, established AKC training services, became a part of the Florida Emergency Network, cultivated our 10th year of our syndicated TV program, Animal Outtakes, added staff, broadened fundraising, and started construction on the new villages at Dante's Den.
This is now our new villages at Dante's Den. We have created 2 separate buildings that have what we consider very unique expandable kennels built for us by Gator Kennels up in Colorado. So our kennels on the inside, we can pull the walls out. If a family has several dogs and they want to be able to keep all their dogs together, we can open everything up and the dogs will have a bigger run on the inside and a bigger run on the outside, and of course transitioning into our new play area. So we built this for families in mind. Lots of people have lots of dogs nowadays, and we'd love to keep your dogs together while they're here visiting us in the villages. Our boarding has increased for the number of dogs that have come in and visited with us. They stay for our spa packages where they're able to play and run by the pools. And with our new facility going in here, we're gonna have a new play field for us to be able to entertain them with. So you can see the dog doors here on the ground. Normally this is a 4 by 8 foot run on the inside, but we've designed it where the walls can come out. So I can make your family, when you're boarding with us, go from a 4 by 8 to a 8 by 16, 8 by 24, depending on how much room you want your dogs to have. They're gonna have as much playroom as they would like while they're inside. And again, that'll transition to our patios and then to our play area on the outside. So when boarding here at Dante's, just remember we are a 24 hours a day facility. We have kennel staff and vet staff here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the safety and well-being of your pets, okay? We have cameras that will be inside of this building also that'll be monitoring every run, so you can have the comfort of knowing while you're on vacation with your family, calling us and saying, hey, how is Scooter doing? And we'll send you a live feed or we'll send you some pictures of Scooter in his run, outside playing or outside being in either the pool or the agility play area. We are 50.87 acres of nothing but dog and animal sanctuary. Our dogs love being here, our staff. You'll never see a staff member around here not in a happy mood because we get to play with dogs all day long.
Dante's Den is a canine sanctuary, although our mission statement says all animals. So we're doing our best to fulfill that. We now take in cats for our lifetime care. Of course, we have our beloved cows that have been here from day one. Hee-Haw, our donkey, she's thriving. And now we rescued a miniature horse named Mischief, and she certainly lives up to her name. But we have so many wonderful programs here. Yes, we do have adoption, but our mainstay programs are lifetime care. And this is where you as owners would bequeath your dogs or cat to us, and we would take care of them for the rest of their lives. We also have the Semper Paw program, which caters to the military and to the first responders. And we are just so happy to be able to help those wonderful people who are first on the line for our safety. And boarding, we do boarding. We'll do an overnight, we'll do a weekend, and certainly anything in between. We are so much more than a rescue. We are a sanctuary. We are a safe place for all of our dogs.
The first few days of my life were strange. A lot of wind and terrible rain. My mom gave birth to me during something called a hurricane. She tried to take care of me, but she couldn't. She had tears in her eyes when she said goodbye to me, and I never saw her again. I really didn't know how to feed myself, and I was very thirsty. The first day I tried to stand, and I kept falling over. Finally, after many attempts, I started walking. I kept looking for my mom, barking so she could hear me, but she never did. I didn't know where I was or where I was going. There were cars on a busy highway, and I tried to cross, but I was too small to run. I thought my life was over. Then, a kind woman picked me up and brought me to a place called Dante's Den. A lot of people held and kissed me and gave me food. I had a bed to sleep in, and I felt safe. Someday I may have a home with a family, but in the meantime, I am happy and safe at Dante's Den.
I was on death row in a rescue and my days were numbered. I didn't want to die, but no one wanted me. I put on my best behavior, hugging, cuddling, smiling, but no one seemed to care. And then it happened. Someone came for me, and I thought, this is it. But they put me in a van. We drove for 3 hours. It was a hot, long ride. We pulled up to a front door, Dante's Den, and this kind woman picked me up and loved on me. She gave me my own room and told me to be patient, that a family would surely want me. Well, I've waited 7 years, and no one's even looked at me. I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. And then Mama Marcia told me she had a very important job for me. I was going to be the Dante's Den ambassador. I greet people. I show them around the Welcome Center, and she made me feel needed and important. I love her for my new life at Dante's Den.
Just a short time ago, I was confused and scared. I was put in a car and driven to different places. Finally, they put me in a cage and I was able to relax. But not for long. There was a lot of screaming. And I would see my cage mates being dragged away, and I never saw them again. Then someone put a red tag on my cage. It said tomorrow, 4 p.m. I thought someone was coming for me, but I quickly learned that was not it. A cold wave of fear came over me, and I knew something was wrong. The next day, they took me out of my cage and dragged me into the other room. I was really scared. And then a man came and put me in a car and told me to have a good trip. What trip? My journey took me from Texas to Mayaca City, Florida. I couldn't believe it. It was sunny. There was a swimming pool. I was one lucky pup. I got to Dante's Den and I haven't been scared at all. Dante's Den gave me a chance to live.
I lost my home, and my mom crying, she held me tight, but she didn't know what to do. She told me a hurricane destroyed our lives, but we didn't have a place to go or any money. I kept kissing her and telling her that someone would help us, but I really didn't believe it myself. And then one day we drove 2.5 hours to this wonderful place called Dante's Den. They were so happy to see us. My mom told them there was no money to care for me, but they didn't seem to mind. Now I have this big room to live in and all the food I can eat and a swimming pool to play in. My mom is working with people to get us a permanent home, but she doesn't have to worry she can move in here with me at Dante's Den.
Stick around, there's much more animal outtakes after the break.
Every dolphin at Clearwater Marine Aquarium has an amazing tale. They're all rescues who have overcome challenges to survive and thrive. You'll be inspired by every animal's story and unforgettable moments with them, including 2-year-old Apollo, our newest rescued dolphin. There's something inspirational for every kid, and kid at heart. Your visit directly supports the animal care and rescue efforts at Clearwater Marine Aquarium, celebrating 50 years of amazing tales.
Did you know that Moat is leading the charge to fight Florida red tide by testing compounds that may lessen its harmful effects on the environment? The more you know about everything Moat's doing to help our oceans, the more you'll understand why Moat matters. Visit moat.org today.
Good morning, Mr. Benson. Your breakfast is served.
Time for another day in doggy paradise. I sure am one lucky pup.
Mr. Benson, would you like to go out for your morning stroll? The weather is quite lovely today.
That sounds wonderful. Don't mind if I do. After all that exercise, I think I'd like to lounge by the pool and maybe dip my paws in.
As you wish, sir. Right this way.
Ah, what a perfect day. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else but Dante's Den while Mom and Dad are away.
At Dante's Den, we pride ourselves in providing the best experience for your beloved pup. Whether it be a day, a month, or a year, Dante's Den should always be at the top of your list for boarding. With an expansive campus, your dog will enjoy daily walks, pool time, and an endless supply of love. Even better, it's all under 24/7 supervision from our wonderful staff. If you're anything like us, your dog's safety and happiness come first. To learn more about Dante's Den, visit dantesden.org.
Welcome back. Working at Dante's encompasses a lot of responsibilities and daily tasks. We've got a great team of humans here, 24/7, who dedicate themselves to making a better life for these canines. And we don't like to play favorites, but every once in a while, a staff member forms a special bond with one of our dogs. Let us introduce you to Allie and one of her favorites, Newman.
This is Newman. He's a handsome Catahoula mix. He's 8 years old. He gives me a bunch of hugs when I walk in his little den. He's a goofball. He's very hyper too. He loves playing, loves water. Super happy guy. He is looking for the right family. He needs someone happy, energetic to come adopt this handsome guy. I love playing with him, going in the water with him. He splashes, has a bunch of fun. And giving hugs is one of my favorite things. There's a bunch of dogs here at Dante's Den, but Newman definitely gets my heart. I love Newman. Newman's been here at Dante's for a few years. He's waiting for the right family, preferably him being the only dog. He is dog selective. He is very comforting. He'll give you the best hugs and make sure that you feel loved just as much as he does. He's a healthy, healthy boy. Aren't you, Newman? Aren't ya?
Tis the season of giving back and helping those that are less fortunate, whether they be humans or animals. Here at Dante's Den, the spirit of the season continues year-round with the care we provide to Dante's dogs. Just like Santa Paws can't do it all himself, neither can we. And we're lucky to have the overwhelming love and generosity of our community. And this year is no different. Hundreds came out to support Dante's Den for our Top Dog fundraiser. We laughed, the dogs played, and a Top Dog winner was chosen. A special congratulations to Ruby for taking home this year's Top Dog trophy. And we cannot thank everyone enough for their continued support in our mission to care for the animals that call our sanctuary home. We truly would not be here without each and every one of you. All money raised for Top Dog goes directly to Dante's Den and towards continuing the care. Coming up next on Animal Outtakes, some important advice about keeping your pet cared for in case something happens to you. Planning for the unexpected is something that's vital to more than just humans. What about it when it comes to your pet? Where would your animal go if something happened to you? Those are important questions to ask yourself as pet owners. And if you're unsure, there are people who can help you make those decisions.
For us, when I'm helping people plan, when I think about things that they're planning for, you have to consider those costs associated with your dogs. My dogs are my babies. I love them more than anything. I will do anything for them, but that comes at a cost. So some people, we have people come in here and they think about, oh, you know, my neighbor's gonna take my dog. Well, something you don't think about is that dog's a debt. And I hate to say that because, like I said, they're my babies, but the dog costs money to maintain, to keep healthy. And of course, that would be my goal if something were to happen to me, whether I'm incapacitated or deceased, that I want my dogs to still be taken care of and alive the way that I have done that. So you want to plan, if you have someone that you trust that you want to take care of your dog, but there needs to kind of be, you know, a monetary attachment to that to be able to keep that dog going.
And I think the key word here, if you would agree, sufficient monetary expenses. Why? Because you have to feed the dog, and we've all seen the dog food this year since the pandemic has increased threefold, I think. The bags have gotten smaller, but the price has been up. Medicine. And what is also very interesting with medicine is a lot of the drugs that we administer to the canines are human drugs.
Yes.
So we're adapting that price rather than, you know, it had been said for many years, oh, well, you know, veterinarian medicine, well, it's low cost. Oh, no, not anymore. So you would guide somebody into, this is what it costs to take care of my dog for a year.
Yes. So that's something that people would want to think about. I know in my situation, I know what it costs each month for the medication for my dog. I know what it costs to feed both of my dogs for the month. At one point, we were going to the vet for testing every 2 weeks. That's not cheap. So, thankfully that's slowed down now.
Right.
But, you have to think about what does it cost per month, per year to take care of these dogs? And do I have sufficient funds set aside maybe for someone that's going to be taking care of my dog to keep that going? Some people maybe don't have that set aside or can't set that aside. So there's other options that you can think of to do that, such as insurance policies. Maybe if you have a pet trust, you could have an insurance policy pay to that pet trust to be able to sustain taking care of your pets.
Now, are we talking about a veterinarian insurance, or are we talking a human insurance that will pour into the trust?
There's different kinds of policies. We've had clients come in before that have had specific policies for their pets, but that would have been more veterinarian insurance that had certain language in them that upon their death could be transferred to the caretaker for the caretaker to maintain that insurance for that dog. So I've seen that before. The other option is, if you have a life insurance policy potentially on yourself, that could pay into your trust to take care of your dog.
You are a young person, and a lot of people say, I'm young, I don't need to worry about this, someday I'll take care of it. What do you say to those people?
You know what, if there's anything I have learned working in the field that I work in, it's, as Kevin likes to talk about Murphy's Law all the time, I don't care how young you are, things happen, things come up. And it's the people that are younger that think that they don't have to worry about planning, that things can go really badly for them if they don't make a plan. Because if you just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, at some point you're going to get to a situation where you cannot put it off any longer, and it might be too late at that point. So it's better to take care of it, be proactive. It can change. If you're young, it's probably going to change, but it's better to have something in place for the time and then change it as your life progresses.
So, in conclusion, what would be the criteria when a client comes in and says, well, Kevin, would you take care of my dog if something goes wrong? What is your advice?
We sit down with them and find out what their goals are. When we know what their goals are, then we can put a plan together to fulfill those goals. But during our interview with the client, we go through a lot of scenarios to look at all these things that could negatively impact what they're thinking and put a plan in place that will actually work. That could be a trust or it could not be a trust. But only by going through that process would you be able to come to a good conclusion.
We're so happy that an attorney of your caliber has decided to take care of the elderly. I is one. and guide people into the right decision.
Everyone here that works with me loves what we do, and we all have cared for our parents. So it's really something that we say, we get up in the morning and we love what we do.
If you have any questions about a particular situation, no matter what species of animal you have, you can contact lifelawfirm.com. And we'll be right back. Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. We'd like to leave you today with some important things to think about as you celebrate the holidays. Oftentimes, you have visitors over and you're distracted, or you aren't in your normal daily routine. And this can sometimes have a negative effect on your animal. Some of the top holiday dangers we've come across for your pet can include snow globes. Some of them contain toxic substances, like antifreeze in the liquid that's inside the globe. If it breaks, the smell can be enticing to your pet, and that could lead to dangerous complications if they ingest it. Make sure any gifts that contain things like chocolate or fruit cakes are kept out of reach. Dogs can smell right through the paper and will often eat everything from the wrapping to the box, the plastic, and the contents. Things like homemade Play-Doh, ice melt, and homemade ornaments can contain a lot of salt. And if ingested by your pet, it could cause problematic imbalances in their electrolytes. And it's also important to make sure your visitors' suitcases are stored away and any medication is kept out of reach. Same with the chewing gum. Xylitol can be found in some gum, and it can cause big problems. As always, call your vet or poison control if your animals get into any of these items. Some of them, even in small doses, could be fatal. Lastly, if people are in and out of your house, maybe put your pet away in a separate room so that they can relax, and so they don't have a chance to beeline out the front door when somebody accidentally leaves it open. We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, happy holidays from all of us here at Animal Outtakes and Dante's Den. Thanks for watching.